Today on 734 Games, we're here to talk about cloud gaming, why the console makers want it, and why some of the big developers want it, and why they shouldn't. Well, at least the first-party console developers. If you're making hardware and you want cloud gaming, well, let's see. Do you think that maybe Ubisoft and EA can't make cloud services of their own? Not only that, is the internet really ready for cloud gaming? We'll talk about that more later on in our video. The main question today is, really, why would you want to pay a monthly fee to play your console games on a server 100 miles away when the internet goes in and out all the time and you get kicked off of your games? Like just the other day I was playing Destiny 2, and when the game lost connection with the server, I was kicked out of my game. And it wasn't a multiplayer frag fest either. It was like a narrative type level where I was fighting NPCs. Truthfully, they didn't have to design the game to do that, but that is done with DRM. That is why they like cloud gaming. They feel that they can get over with cloud gaming on the people and utilize that as their DRM. Why is that a bad idea if you're Sony? Sony is a hardware company. Microsoft, yeah, they're a software company, but let's look at it this way. What major third party is going to want to pay you for the privilege of working on their servers, of putting their game on your servers when they don't have to? That doesn't make any sense, Microsoft. And who wants to pay to play a game every month, pay to play a bunch of crappy games every month that, you know, you're going to have input lag and you're also going to have output lag when you talk about cloud gaming, especially with the current paradigm of internet and computers. Now, maybe down the line when we move into quantum computers and quantum internet, in probably about 2030 or so, then, you know, it won't matter. Of course, Sony and Microsoft will probably be obsolete as first-party game developers. Why? Because with the quantum internet, as long as it's not weaponized to the point where mid-sized corporations or, you know, indie developers can't get a hold of the technology, you're not going to need Microsoft or Sony. You can put the game out yourself. You just need a system that can run all day and run all night. And maybe not. You might not even need that. You may just need to hire somebody else who has a cloud where you can store your game, where other people can download it and have it hooked up to your PayPal. It'll be easy as anything. So, I mean, the idea that cloud gaming is going to be the future of gaming, maybe it is. But it'll also be the death of these console companies, first-party console companies. And I don't know, like the idea of Sony having PlayStation now is like watching somebody drive 100 miles per hour into a brick wall. And then get out of the car after it's all smashed if they can, and get in another car and do the same thing over and over again. And you're like, man, dude, that looks like it hurts. Well, yeah, it does, but I think it's the future. No, Sony, for you, if I were Sony and Microsoft, I would not want to get into the age of cloud gaming, because Ubisoft and EA and Activision don't need you, Microsoft and Sony. They have enough infrastructure of their own, even though it would be it'd be crappy right now if they did, because all cloud gaming sucks right now. I mean, with the current internet that we have, where it's based on, you know, wires or radio technology, the internet, the speeds for cloud gaming, of course the cloud gaming is going to suck, because you have lag. You know, it's like you have lag if you use Bluetooth headphones over wired headphones. So why would you think that cloud gaming would be workable right now? Now, quantum internet and quantum computers with that technology, everything will be instantaneous. And I'm going to put the links down and below in this blog in the description or whatever, so you guys can go and see what quantum internet is and quantum computers are. Because, I mean, your system will just be compiling and you'll be playing the game at the same time. There will be no downloading anymore, or at least you don't need to download. I'm sure some people will want to download things and put them on their system, whatever. You'll probably have the option, but you won't need that technology. You won't need it. With that, you just have, with quantum internet and quantum computers, you just can play the game over the internet and no lag, nothing. That's what it'll be in 2030, but not in 2018 or 2019 or even 2025. So I know the guy. I know one of the guys. I can't remember his name. Yves Guillemot from was it from Ubisoft said the next they'll have one more console generation, and then we'll have the next consoles will have cloud games. Well, you know what? I'm sure he's looking forward to that because then he doesn't need to pay Microsoft and Sony, and he can just put his own app out on iOS and Android and Windows or whatever. You don't need Microsoft and Sony to stream over the cloud. That's ridiculous. So for Phil Spencer and Sony to sit around and throw money at this, they're basically throwing money at their demise in gaming because no one is going to need them if everything goes cloud. Now, I think if the whole industry goes cloud before the advent of quantum computers and quantum internet, the industry will probably crash because people don't want to use laggy, ugly games over the internet that don't work all the time, that shut off, that kick them out of room, kick them out of servers. I mean, the whole thing behind internet and behind online multiplayer is mainly a lot of these big companies like multiplayer games. Because they're cheap to make. It's cheap to make a Black Ops 4 without any single player because then you don't have to spend all the money making the single player cinematic campaign. It's cheaper to make a game that's just a battle royal playground. That's a cheap way to make a game and make money. And all you guys go out there and fall for it and buy the crappy game, you end up with crap. And that's the way it's going to be. And that is done on purpose. They know how to market these games to get you guys to buy them. I mean, these games are there's very little value in these games, and they basically want a game that if they want to cancel the game, it's just gone. You don't have that game anymore. You don't own it. You never did. It's just a game that they can turn off the servers and you don't have anymore. And that's how this works. So basically, multiplayer is about more DRM. And they keep reintroducing it. This whole games as a service garbage thing at Microsoft was about DRM and making money. And when quantum computers come around, I'm sure that you'll probably still have indie developers who make single player games. And of course, in that paradigm, who knows what indie games will look like in the age of quantum computers? They may look like photorealistic. We don't know. I mean, there's no way to tell right now because we are so far away. But when it happens, it'll be really cool. And let's just hope that technology is available to everyone, which it probably will be. And that's one of the reasons they actually want to get rid of the deep web. The internet, they would like to control the internet. The internet too, the idea of the internet too is a way for them to control the internet and get rid of small companies, because once quantum computers come out, anybody will be able to put out a game, anybody will be able to make a game, everything will work. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's multiplayer. It's not going to be like today where it's very expensive to make a game like, say, to make a single player epic, or even to make a game like PUBG, which is probably cheaper. It's probably cheaper to make PUBG than it was to make God of War, but it's still out of the reach for most regular people to make a game, or most indie developers to make a game like that. So that's the age we're living in now, and I think Microsoft and Sony should be happy to be in this time that they're in right now, because when it changes, it's going to be very jilting for them, and I don't understand why they can't see it. And that's it for this episode of 734 Games. This is your host, Tom, coming to you from beautiful Washtenaw County. And I'm going to leave all the sources for this information in the description.